Liquid Bliss Vegan Delights and the Blissful Vegan Bakers Club, and today we're going to be making banana crumble muffins. All right, so we have all of our ingredients laid out right here. I am really excited about these muffins because just today I decided to add oats to the crumble just to add a little bit more razzle-dazzle. So this is a very simple recipe. You have your dries, you have your wets, and then you have your crumbles. You add your dries to your wets, and then you add the crumble, and then you put it in the oven and over done and finish. All right? Okay, so first things first, we are going to, well, before you start anything, what I like to do is I like to portion out all of my ingredients. Well, this is what I like to do when I am filming. But it's a really good practice because it just makes everything so much easier. You're not scrambling to figure out whether you forgot ingredients or not. You just have them right in front of you. So we're going to take our bananas, and if your bananas do not look this ugly, they're not ready to be used, okay? So my bananas were in the freezer. I needed to thaw them out real quick, so I did that. You're gonna put your whole bananas inside of your bowl. You don't need to mash them, just put them in the bowl. Next, you're gonna add your melted vegan butter. Lastly, you're gonna add your milk, maple syrup, and vanilla extract. So now we're just gonna add this to our KitchenAid and mix it for about a minute. You're trying to make sure that your bananas are all nice and mashed up and that everything is fully incorporated. Now we're going to add our white sugar, brown sugar, cinnamon, nutmeg, allspice, baking powder, baking soda, salt, and we're gonna save the flour for last. All of that goes in all at the same time. Add that back to the mixer and mix away. Okay, last things last, add the flour. Now, in the recipe, I said that you're supposed to fold this in, but when you have carpal tunnel, like me, and tendinitis and all them things, it's okay if you just put it back on the mixer. Low speed though. If your muffins get messed up, that's on you, okay? All right, so we're gonna just low speed, mix until everything is fully incorporated. If your hands fully work, please just fold it in with the spatula, okay? But for me, I'm gonna do a little low speed action. All right, everything is fully incorporated, and so we're gonna go the rest of the way with the spatula. I like to clean off my KitchenAid completely before I move on, because we don't have ingredients to waste. So, like this. Now this is obviously going to be a very clumpy batter because we're dealing with bananas here that were not pre-mixed. And I think that's kind of what makes this recipe so good. This little black piece right here is really bothering me. If you did not remove the bananas before you put it in, you're gonna need to do that at some point. Or you could keep it in, no judgment here. If you like the black ends of the bananas, that's your business, all right? Okay. So this is completely done. So what we're gonna do now is we're going to use our muffin tins that I got on Amazon. These are petal muffin tins. I love these because they allow you to add as much of your crumble as you want without you having to worry about it spilling over. If you were to use regular cupcake tins, then you might run into some spillage. We don't want that. If you use a 2-ounce scoop, you're gonna get about 16 muffins if you use regular sized bananas. If you use a larger 2.5 scoop, you'll probably get around 12 muffins. I'm okay with using either or. It depends on what customers are asking for and how large the bananas are. How we end up with more than 16? Okay, just kidding. So you're actually supposed to use a 2.5-ounce scoop. I'm gonna need to make that correction before I publish the recipe. It's this one that gives you 20. That's what it was. This one will give you 20. The 2.5-ounce scoop will give you 16. So I'm just gonna go back in and top up these muffins because I definitely am not making, like that's a lot. 12 plus 4 is 16. We don't need that much. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and top them up. Okay, so now we're moving on to our crumble. So this has all-purpose flour, brown sugar, oats, cinnamon, and a little bit of salt. We're just gonna mix that up with our whisk, like so, like that. And now it's very important that when you're doing the butter, it's cold because it's gonna be a lot easier for you to mash it when it's not softened. And that's gonna really give you that nice crumbly texture that we're looking for, because they are banana crumble muffins after all. So you're gonna go ahead with your fork and all of your strength and just mash the butter into the mixture. And it's a lot better when you have some flour on the butter, then that's when it becomes more crumbly. Again, I do have issues with my hand, so it's a lot easier for you probably to do this if you don't have issues. Or you can always just steal your husband and make him do it for you. We're looking for a nice sandy texture. And the butter is supposed to be nice and fine. Right, that looks good. At this point, we're gonna add our maple syrup. This is just gonna help everything come together. It's not necessary. Honestly, you could do without, but you know, anything that's gonna make the muffin taste better, I'm all for it. I think my butter was honestly a little too soft, and that's why it's doing this. Frozen butter would be even better. I've done it with frozen butter and it did give like a really nice texture, but I didn't use frozen butter today. I actually had it out for a while, so it was a little soft. Don't do that. Take it straight out of the fridge, okay? Okay. So now we're ready to spoon our crumble mixture onto our muffins. And you want to be generous with this. We have a lot of crumble, so you want to be nice and generous with the addition of the crumble on top. And if anything happens or if it happens where you accidentally overdo it, you could always just go back and pick some out. I've done that many times. You could also use this time to go back in and crumble it a little bit more. If yours clumped up like mine, listen, it's okay, Tabian, it's okay, don't worry, no te preocupes, it's fine. It's an easy fix. They're just muffins, we're gonna eat them. Okay, so if they come out a little bit not like what they're supposed to come out like, just go back in with your very clean fingers and crumble them up that way, okay? But like I said, you'll get better results if your butter is cold. Okay. Now, I forgot to mention that I preheated my oven to 350 degrees. That should have been the first thing that you did. You should know this, hello. So we're gonna put this into our very, very hot oven. Bake them for 30 minutes. When you stick the stick inside, what's it called, the toothpick, it should come out clean. If it does not come out clean, you need to add more time, okay? Okay. Hey Siri, set a 30-minute muffin timer. Wow, I almost touched the oven with my bare hand. Ah! And they are ready. Okay, so these came out absolutely incredible. Let me close the oven. I can honestly say that they don't usually turn out this massive, but when you use a 2.5 ounce measurement as opposed to the 2 ounce, you get some really nice bakery style muffins. And honestly, nobody wants a small muffin. You know what I mean? Nobody wants a small muffin. These are perfectly sweet and they freeze so well. So if you're gonna make a large batch like this, but you don't have a large family, you could always eat what you want to eat now and then freeze them. Defrost them in the fridge overnight and then put them in the microwave for like 15 to 30 seconds or toast them in the toaster oven for like a couple of minutes, and they taste fresh every time. When I make these for the farmers markets, people go crazy. I sell them in boxes of 4s, customers on Etsy. I ship to California, Florida, Texas, all over the country. These muffins are great, okay? So if you'd like the recipe, you can find it in our baking school. Unless you're watching from the baking school, then obviously you can find the recipe here. But you can purchase the recipe in our baking school. You can also purchase the recipe in our Etsy shop. And yeah, I really hope that you guys enjoy. Let me know in the comments how you like the muffins, if there are any changes that you would like to make to the recipe to make them better for yourself. Because as for you and your house, you can do whatever you want. All right, thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.